Bro, I ain't gonna lie, nigga. Bro, Commanders, y'all never gonna beat the retirement home allegations, bro. Like, real spill. The Commanders are signing Von Miller on a 1-year deal, bro. And like, what's crazy about this, I was literally just talking about, you know what I'm saying, how the Commanders D-line is just straight ass, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got no real game changers, bro, in they D-line. And then, like, about 2 hours later, bro, they go ahead and sign Von Miller. Now, Von Miller is nowhere near his prime anymore. You know what I'm saying? His prime was like, I feel like his last prime was, 2021 when he was on the Rams. You know what I'm saying? But like, bruh, these niggas doing everything but re-signing Terry. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, this is better than nothing for them. You know what I'm saying? If Von Miller can stay healthy, maybe he can be a big difference maker for them. But we gonna have to see, bro. Cause the nigga's like what 36. Don't expect this nigga to go crazy this year. That's all I gotta say,
this
bro.
Just in the CBS Sports
That's
HQ,
all I gotta say.
Von Miller is signing with the Commanders on a 1-year deal. A former 3-time first-team All-Pro.
Does this make
Miller
the Commanders
had 14
instant
sacks
Super Bowl contenders?
over the past 3 seasons in Buffalo. His 129.5 sacks are the most by any player since he entered the league in 2011. He also brings winning experience as a 2-time Super Bowl champ and former Super Bowl MVP. And for more on this, we welcome in CBS Sports lead NFL insider Jonathan Jones. And JJ, tell us exactly how this deal came together.
So the Washington Commanders have been looking for some edge rush help for some time. They didn't really go out and get it in the draft. And you'll remember, of course, that the Commanders, they used to have a whole bunch of pass rushers, right? But then 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, they wound up trading a Chase Young. They traded Montez Sweat. And then under new management with general manager Adam Peters, started looking around for the right pieces to fit in Dan Quinn's defense. And so they have added a ton of experience and veteran leadership. And look, if you're reading between the lines on what I'm trying to say here, age, along with plenty of young guys, but certainly you look on the defensive side, and at each level, you have some guys who got some grace, right?
Bro,
and certainly
I ain't gonna lie, you know how crazy this is? J.J. Watt been retired for like, what, 3-4 seasons now? I think he retired in like 2020, 2021, right? I think so. This nigga still top 3 since 2011. That is crazy.
At the front,
that goes to show you how dominant bro was.
He's not the Von Miller who wreaked havoc in Super Bowl 50 and won Super Bowl MVP. He's not the Von Miller who wreaked havoc several years later for the Los Angeles Rams as sort of a mercenary to help them get a Lombardi. You're not going to really get that Von Miller these days. But if the Commanders can keep him healthy, certainly you're going to get a guy who knows what it's like to play deep into the playoffs. And that's something that, of course, the Commanders after last year want to continue doing.
Yeah, he and Bobby Wagner, 2 of the OGs, if you will, for that Commanders defense when you look at their age now.
Definitely does give him veteran presence.
Drafted in 2011. Defense, in your opinion, you talk about his health, right, making sure he stays healthy. How much does he have left in the tank for this team that is trying to contend for a Super Bowl championship?
Yeah, they're certainly going to have to manage him. I don't think there's any doubt at all about that. Dan Quinn, a well-respected coach in every locker room that he has ever been in, either as a defensive coordinator or head coach, from Atlanta to Dallas, now, of course, with Washington. He's going to know how to take care of the vets. He knew how to take care of them last year. He's going to continue this upcoming year. They all know that they need Von Miller far more in December and January, and hopefully for them February than they do in September and October.
This might be
Ultimately,
his
the
last
Buffalo
year,
Bills cut bait with Von Miller because they deemed that his play was not worthy of his pay. Remember when the Bills were seeing that championship window, they did something that was a little un-Bills-like when they signed him to that 6-year, $120 million contract. Damn. And then, of course, he goes out in the first year playing
to be fair, he was coming off a pretty good season with the Rams. And then he was playing good for the Bills until he got hurt. So.
Comes back the second year, isn't playing that well. Kept trying to recreate things that just weren't there. His body was not right. And then last year, of course, battling some injuries, had a suspension as well. But still, we're not seeing that Pro Bowl, All-Pro Von Miller. And I don't really think that we're probably going to see him again. So this is all about maintaining for the Washington Commanders. This is about making sure that you're scoring enough points on offense and that the defense is doing what they do. Look, Bobby Wagner has found the fountain of youth. There's no question at all about that. They went out and decided that they could swap out a Jonathan Allen for a Javon Kinlaw. They have made some changes and some adjustments, but this, Chris, and we'll know this once all the cuts have happened, but this is probably going to be the oldest team in the NFL. And it may even be the oldest team by a decent amount, right? They'll be competing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, who obviously have 40-plus-year-old Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. And so that's going to be very important on the strength and conditioning
I feel like,
staff.
bro, having old players can be a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is that, you know what I'm saying, you're going to get veteran, you know what I'm saying, players that have been there, done that, been all over the NFL. Bad thing is, bro, you probably got like 1 or 2 years out of them, and then you're going to have to start rebuilding
Health
again.
and wellness, on nutrition, on all of those groups that work behind the scenes that make sure that the bodies get through a 17-game season and then a 4 or so game playoff season. That is what is going to be crucial for this group, because they got a lot of names. And my goodness, if they had some of these names 5 years ago, you'd be saying, oh boy. So right now it's 2025. And you got to make sure that Von Miller is taken care of this upcoming season.
And because of all those points that you laid out so beautifully, JJ, what are your expectations for this Commanders team next season?
Well, what they're going to have to do is forget about last year. And I actually talked about this earlier on Wednesday on CBS Sports HQ, where they are going to have to flush that, yes, you went 12-5, and yes, you have the offensive rookie of the year. You got probably a half dozen first or second team all-pros on this team just from this past season. You know, you were competing with the Philadelphia Eagles. All that stuff's great. It doesn't mean anything for 2025. And Dan Quinn is certainly going to be preaching that to these guys when they report to training camp in just a few days. He kind of has bifurcated this team.
Right around the
Doesn't
corner,
matter how long
man.
you've
You
been
know
in
what
the
I'm
NFL.
saying?
You're year one with
ready.
the Washington Commanders if you just came on this upcoming year, right? And so that's a Deebo Samuel. That's a Laramie Tunsil. And that, of course, is a Von Miller. And then you're a year two if you were around last year, knowing what it takes.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, Von Miller playing against his former team, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That Sunday night football game gonna be
And
nice.
understanding what this franchise, what this organization, what this coaching staff is asking of you. We see their schedule right there. Of course, they're going to start with an NFC East battle against the Giants, but this is a group that I know there's a lot of people, there's a lot of excitement, right? Because they've added so many names, right? You add a Laramie Tunsil, you add a Deebo Samuel, you add a Von Miller. Those are all, in terms of a lot of households being big NFL fans, household names. Are they going to be able to all work together? Are they going to be able to stay healthy? Are they just names, or are they more than that? And is it going to mesh more or less? All of those things are certainly to be determined. But man, you got to love what this Washington Commanders team at least is attempting to do, right? They know that the Philadelphia Eagles are the class of the NFL, and they are in their division. So you're going to have to compete with them. They know the Dallas Cowboys are going to have a healthy quarterback in Dak Prescott. You're going to have to compete with them. And then you look at the teams in the NFC North as well. San Francisco is going to be coming back. It is not going to be easy
North, nigga.
in this NFC conference so long as everyone stays healthy, as we all hope that they do. But that, of course, Chris, is what's going to be crucial for this team, perhaps the oldest in the NFL this upcoming season.
Jonathan Jones providing us with the latest insight on Von Miller going to the Commanders and putting it all into perspective, what it means for this team going forward. JJ, thanks so much for the time, man.
Hey, man. Shit, I don't know what you guys think about this, bro. In my opinion, I feel like they had no choice but to, sign Von Miller. They had no juice off the edge. You know what I'm saying? They lost Dante Fowler. They lost Jonathan Allen. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Newton, he still got a lot of room for growth. You know what I'm saying? They still got Frankie Louvu, but he's more of like a hybrid player. Who else? Kinlaw. I don't know about Kinlaw. They paid him a bag. You know what I'm saying? For him to not really play up to, you know what I'm saying, his first round potential like he had a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I think like this is what they really needed to do, and just go ahead and pull the trigger on bringing in Von Miller. But it's just like, Von Miller's 36. How much does he have left in the tank? Can he still get after the quarterback like he used to? We'll see. You know what I'm saying? They got Dan Quinn at head coach, so you know how good of a defensive mind coach he is. So we'll see. We'll see how this turns out for them, bro. I don't know. We just go have to see, bro. Cause Von Miller, he could. You know what I'm saying? He could have a resurrection of his career this year. But hey man, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Y'all let me know what other NFL videos I'm to react to. Without further ado, man.
I'm chosen. I'ma make them feel me. Make them people when they chose me. And if you don't know me, I'ma make sure that you know me. I hate to say it, but I really think I'm broken. But I know I'm chosen. I really know I'm chosen. I know I'm chosen. I was just lost a year ago, but now I'm focused. When good at sports, this microphone can be my trophy. Not taking drugs, I found a better way of coping.